What's up, YouTubers? I'm Sky from Team Apex, and we've been gone for a long time, and I do apologize for that, guys. It's been crazy. For those of you guys that do actually follow me on iFunny, those of you guys that actually follow me or talk to me via Kick or Snapchat or whatever, do appreciate all the support you guys have been sending me. It's been quite a roller coaster over time, but we're back. I'm back. We're gonna have a couple of videos coming up. Really excited. We have the scripts written. We just need to get together for filming. Super stoked for it. So you guys may be wondering, Sky, you're wearing multicam and a World War II helmet. Why are you wearing this? Because today we're discussing World War II weapon. We are discussing the most iconic semi-automatic rifle the US offered in World War II. That's right, guys. We're talking about the M1 Garand. This beautiful piece of weaponry has a wonderful history, and we're going to dive right into it before we discuss the review on this airsoft version. Now, the M1 Garand was developed and designed by John C. Garand, later then produced by Springfield Armory after it was put into service in 1936. This gun has seen action from World War II all the way over to our current conflicts, not by US forces, but of course by other militaries around the world. This weapon has of course been made by numerous companies since Springfield Armory stopped making them. At one point it was even suggested to actually start using it in the British Army to replace the Enfield. However, they said it doesn't do well when it's muddy, so it got scrapped. This thing has an 8-round magazine on the standard and is chambered in a .30-06, or if there's the Navy version that is chambered in a .308. The M1 Garand is the most iconic picture rifle in all of World War II, most commonly seen now in movies, some video games, and of course now in the airsoft realm. Alright guys, so ICS made a beautiful job with this thing. I'm going to remove this really quick because that is pretty heavy, almost as heavy as my Kevlar. ICS made this beautiful piece, and they did a great job replicating the real version. We're of course going to move from the lower end all the way to the barrel. So let's start with this butt plate. The butt plate's actually the house of the battery. One of the smart places, I believe, for them to do this. So you simply remove the cap, you put your battery in, close the cap after you connect it, and you are set to go. Simple as that. No popping out pins, no taking off one piece and removing another, no having to remove a hand guard. Simple. Very nice. Keeps to the look of the weapon. Alright, moving up, I know you guys are going to see me kind of touching the wood. This is actually wood, not to be sexual, this is actually wood. ICS did a wonderful job making this out of mainly wood and metal. Very few pieces on this thing are actually plastic. And that to me, it just shows the craftsmanship that ICS took into replicating one of the most iconic rifles. Alright, so we're going to move down to our trigger area. Now the trigger area has two components, the trigger and the safety. Unlike a safety selector switch, this thing literally just has a safety but like a little lever. You see this little square right here? This little square is actually the safety. So when a shooter has it in there, that means the safety's on. But when the shooter clicks it forward, it means the safety's off. It means you're set to fire. And now moving up, we have the bolt assembly. The bolt assembly is kind of the main focus point of this weapon, this whole section right here, because this weapon doesn't have that much after that. Alright, now in Airsoft universe, we have what's known as markings. Now you have iconic weapons such as the 416, the Thompson, the 1911. These weapons have been actually made by real steel companies, of course. These companies will license it and allow these airsoft versions to bear their iconic names, serial numbers, anything to kind of give it that real feel. ICS got this Springfield Armory, which of course, as you know, these are the original guys that started producing these weapons, and they have the actual engravings right here, right below the rear sight. And they are actually engraved. Sometimes they're painted on, but these ones are engraved, and that to me just adds the detail to it. You almost feel like you're almost holding a real piece of history here in your hands. Moving up, we have of course the rear sight. The rear sight has two knobs on it. The left one will control the height of the rear sight, and the right one will control whether it goes left or right, depending on what type of shooter you are. After that, we actually have the bolt. It clicks back wonderfully. Almost sounds real. I love it. Now this is actually where you load your magazine, the 8 rounds. However, due to the fact that this is airsoft, this is actually where you would see your hop up. Now the hop up's a little twist knob. It's actually this little top gear looking thing here. You twist to the left or the right to adjust your hop up. Now that begs a question. If the rounds don't go to the top, where do you put your BBs? Few plastic piece. And now we go to the part that just starts making this rifle terrible. This is the magazine. There's a little button right here. You push that, and this is actually one of the cons. I actually have a little bit better time because I do have a little bit of a nail going on my fingers, but it's still a pain in the butt to actually take out. Putting them in, you can just go like that, slap it in, you're good to go. Now, painful part. So these are a mid cap. I've seen these things run from $10 to $16 depending on where you go. And we've done some field testing on this weapon, and these little suckers jam. They don't feed properly. And this to me is a big issue with this weapon. If you don't have a weapon that feeds ammo properly, it is not that good of a weapon. Granted, you know, this is the airsoft version of the M1, so you know you gotta have some leniency, but to have feeding issues it's not really good. Alright, so besides the fact that it's a small mid cap and it's I mean, I understand it's a mid cap because, you know, size, you can't exactly put a high cap in there, but at the same time, these the feeding issue in the magazine release it's just too funky and kind of terrible. It kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth of looking at this rifle. I mean, it looks gorgeous from head to toe, and you have that magazine issue. Of course, that's the main function of firing this weapon, pretty much, is the ammo. If it doesn't have the right ammo feeding through, it just goes downhill. You find yourself having to pull out the magazine, you're dropping BBs at that point, you're putting it back in, you're trying to fire, and it's just a mess. All right, but moving up, more beautiful wood furnishing. This is actually, you know, if you guys do actually have an M1 Garand, I dare you guys to actually go out and there's a piece you can get. It's an actual metal top piece, and it has a rail system on it. If you guys do want to put an optic on these things, I think it would look actually cool. I've seen actual photos of it. They're really classy looking, actually, depending on how you put it on. Do it. I mean, this is wood. It's not plastic. You're not just going to bust through that, so if you guys want, do that. If it breaks, I don't know what to tell you, but it's a cool idea. Moving up, we have our final piece, and of course this is the barrel part of the weapon. The outer barrel, of course, is metal. You have an adjustable front sight, and you have a plastic orange tip. Here's the last part for your sling. This piece right here is for the bayonet. I have not seen an airsoft M1 bayonet. If they do make one, I'm sure probably I will get one and cash that sucker on. Alright guys, so now comes to our last part, is what's our final thoughts on this rifle? What do we make of this rifle? This is not a rifle you use for speed matches. This is not a rifle you use really for fast pace. It's pretty much used like a actual rifle. You fire it, you hit pretty good at long range, and with an FPS just shy of 400, we've seen the FPS on these things range from 350 to 390. Depends on the grade of ammo you're using too, by the way. This thing is just, it's meant for medium to long range. It's not entirely a fast-paced, close-quarter weapon. And if you do reenactments, or even those of you guys out there that do cosplay, this would actually be a fun weapon to have. Okay, it looks real. Like I said, it has the real markings. You can kind of get away with the look of it. Find a way to maybe just paint that black. You know, you got a realistic-looking rifle for, you know, cosplay or just reenactments if you guys do that type of thing. Or if you guys just want a fun little piece to have on your wall, this would be a great weapon. These things, I've seen them at $366. A little bit of a hefty price tag, but you're paying for the quality of the wood, the metal, the markings. You're paying for the quality of that. Now, ICS does have two other versions. They do have a gold version and I believe a nickel plated version. Comment down the comments if I'm wrong on the nickel plate, but I do know they have a gold version, and they're pretty much the same thing, just different looks. This one to me is my favorite because it looks like the originals. I'd give this thing a 7 out of 10. That magazine issue is probably the worst thing that you can actually have. You know, if your weapon's not feeding properly, you're screwed. So 7 out of 10, a good solid C for the M1 by ICS. But if you guys do like this video, which I hope you guys do, please hit the like button, hit the comment button, comment, tell me what I'm doing good, what am I doing bad. Subscribe to us, hit that subscribe button, please share us, let people know how we're doing. Now also, I do post these on iFunny. Of course, I've mentioned that sometimes, is that we have iFunny and we post our pictures on there. It's a way to reach out to the airsoft community. And if you guys are on there, go onto YouTube, type in, as you guys may have noticed, we have changed our name. Type in Apex Customs. That is our new channel name. We're out there. We're gonna be making new videos. Like I said, we actually, I will tell you guys what we have coming up next. We have an M3 shotgun review, and of course we have an M14 review, which actually kind of goes great because we are doing the M1 Garand right now. So if you guys love this, please, like I said, do us a solid, and that way we can keep making more YouTube videos for you guys. Once again, I'm Sky Hammer from Team Apex, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Alright, I'll see you guys on the battlefield.